3. And then that's going to be y equals 8 because 24 divided by 3 is 8. All right, great. We're done. No. Plug it back in. We're not looking for x. We're looking for CD. So we need to plug back in. So plug 8 in for CD. Well, technically in for y. So let's see. What was CD? Well, the whole thing. That is the whole thing. So you have options. You can be like, oh, let me just add this and this together, and then I can just get my answer that way. Or if you're lazy like me, you can be like, wait, hold up. This half of it and this half of it are equal. So what if I just find one half and then double it? That's what we're going to do because y'all know. All right, so we're going to just take 3y plus 2, and that's going to be 3 times some number, which we already figured out was 8, and then add 2 to it, and then that's going to be 24 plus 2, which is 26. We're not done. I just told you we have to double it. So that's 26, and this also has to be 26 because they're equal. If you're not sure, then what you can do is plug it into the other side to make sure it's equal. So we got 6y minus 22. And again, we're going to plug it in 8. So that's going to be 6 times 8 minus 22, which is 48, minus 22, which is 26. Great. And now that I have both parts, again, I can add them together. So I can have I ran out of space, so I'm going to come over here, I guess, 26 plus the 26 that we got on the orange side. And then when I add those together, I'm going to get 52. So 52 is the whole thing, CD. Don't forget to label your answers. Don't just give me a random number and expect me to be like, oh, they understand. No. All right, segment addition postulate. I'm going to actually highlight this because this is a thing. This is an actual thing. All right. All right, 3 points, A, B, and C are collinear, and B is between A and C. So I was going to draw a picture, but the picture's already over here. So they are collinear, right? They're on the same line, and B is between, says it right there, A and C. We got A here, we have C here. Then what you need to know is AB plus BC equals AC. All right, let's figure out what the heck that means. All right, so E is between D and F. All right, so I have to draw some stuff. Go ahead and make a line segment. And I know these are segments because, well, you know what? Let me just make a point here. Literally make a point. D, F, oops, not there. E. It says E is between D and F. Didn't I just do that? Great. All right. Oh, hold on. Let me scoot this up because that's looking a little janky. Boom. Kill it. All right. And then it says find DE if DF. Let me use some colors here. So DF. Oh, first of all, that's the whole thing. So that's the whole thing. And it says DF is 12. And it says that right here. I'm getting my evidence from the problem. EF is 4. Let me use blue. So EF is 4. Okay, great. So let's find the distance between, let's find, the distance between D and E. All right, so I drew this kind of badly. Sorry, this happens sometimes. But if the whole thing is 12, and oops, I forgot to write, this is part. Okay, so the whole thing is 12, part of it is 4. What's the other part? Let me use pink for this part right here. So how much is this part is basically what we're trying to figure out. So what you can do, this is another little formula. You can say, actually, let me use this. Part plus part equals whole. Okay, part plus part equals whole. So let's plug in the numbers that we know. Well, we don't know the first part. We don't know the one that I put in pink. We do know that the second part is 4 and that the whole thing is 12. So from there, we can figure out what the missing part is. Some of you are already like, Miss, why are you doing all this? You can just subtract. Yeah, thank you for thinking ahead. I like it when you think ahead. All right, so obviously we can just take 4 away, and then we get P equals 8. Some of y'all were looking at this like, Miss, just do 12 minus 4, and you get your answer. That's fine. If this is the work you show, that's fine. The only thing I'm going to ask you to do is this. Okay? So you could do it this way, or you can do it this way, but just make sure you do it correctly. Next, find Y and QP. Okay, hold on. Here's some foolishness. We need to find Y and QP. Okay. I hate when it does that. If P is between Q and R. So let me go ahead and draw that out right now. So Q, R, and then P is somewhere in between. Don't put it in the middle unless it tells you. Do not put it in the middle unless it tells you to put it in the middle. Some of y'all be drawing it in the middle, and then you're going to be like, oh, it's half. Baby, it's not half. You drew it like that. The problem didn't tell you that. Get your life. Okay, moving on. So it says P is between. Okay, I did that right. Cool. QP is 2Y. Where's QP? QP is right there, and it is 2Y. So that's 2Y. Then it tells me that, I don't want that blue, ew. Then it tells me that QR, let me use this, is 3Y plus 1. This is clearly the whole thing. That's important. All right, and then PR is right here. Whoops, thought that was a highlighter. Is 21. All right, cool beans. So this is another situation like the previous example. This is another part, right? Because don't forget, well, whatever. Okay, so don't forget this is a part. This is a part. All right, so this is another part plus part equals whole. Miss, why isn't it part equals part? Baby, I just told you. They told you that this P is not in the middle. If P is not in the middle, you can't do part equals part. That's only for bisectors or midpoints. Okay, moving on. All right. So the first part was QP, and that was 2Y. I'm trying to color code it. Y'all know what's up. The next part was PR, which was 21, and then the whole thing, which I did in blue, was QR, that's 3Y plus 1. So I'm formulating my equation. This is so important, y'all. This is like the bread and butter of what we're doing all year long. All right, so once you have set up the equation, you already know how to use your TI Inspires to solve equations. However, since you don't have a TI Inspire, you can't do that. All right, so let me go. I'm going to rewrite this. I feel like the colors are confusing you. Okay, so I just rewrote everything. I didn't change anything. I just rewrote it in black. Okay, so I see that I have a Y on both sides, so let me take away the smaller Y. Great. So now I have 21 equals, what's 3 minus 2? 1Y plus 1. Ran out of space, so I'm just going to come over here. So that's 21 equals Y plus 1. I can get rid of that 1 in front of the Y. It's getting on my nerves. Goodbye. Okay. Now I have this 1. Get rid of that. Ew, gross. We don't want you here. All right, that zeroes out. Now I have 20 equals Y. Great. Did we answer the question? Let's see. We found Y. Lovely. But it said also to find QP. Okay, that's okay. We can do that. So QP, don't forget, was right here. Right? Q to P. That's right there. So that was 2Y. We just need to find that part. So 2Y. Let's figure out what that's going to be. So that's going to be 2 times Y. Well, we just figured out that Y is 20. So that's going to be 40, right? Because 2 times 20 is 40. And that is QP. So that is one of my answers. And here's the other of my answers. Great. We're done. Next, what is the measure of PR if Q is the midpoint? Okay, honey bunny, this is for you. This is for all of you guys who want to make everything equal to itself. Midpoint. Where is it? Pink, right there. Middle. That's the midpoint. So since it's midpoint, this is going to be potentially a part equals part. Okay, but you can still use part plus part equals whole. You can use either one. It just depends on what kind of problem it is or what it's asking you for. But with midpoint, you can possibly use part equals part. Unless it says midpoint, you cannot use that. All right, let's see which one we're going to do. I'm not sure yet. All right, let's see. The information that they give me, they did not give me this one. Let me use a different color. They did not give me this. So this part over here, I do not know. Come on now. There we go. All right, let's see. What else do we have? We have this. This is the other part. We do know that. And then the last bit of information that I'm given is P to R. Let me get that out the way so I can see it. All right, and that's clearly the whole thing. Okay, so if we wanted to use part equals part, we would have to know what this part is equal to, and we don't. So that's not going to work. Womp. Could have worked, but not in this case. Now, so that means we're going to have to use part plus part equals whole. Well, you're probably thinking to yourself, well, we don't know the other part, so how's that going to work? Well, let's take a peek. Let's take a peek. So part plus part equals whole. Okay, here's the good news. These two sides are equal because Q is in the middle. I told you if there's a midpoint, that means both sides are equal to each other. So we could actually say, let me take my little green here. We could actually say, okay, well, 6 minus 3x is that other part because they have to be the same. They're going to equal the same thing, so why not just use the same expression? All right, so I'm going to write that down here. So we got 6 minus 3x. That's one part. We got 6 minus 3x. That's the other part. And then we got the whole thing, which is 14x plus 2. All right, let me put my little pluses and equals in the middle. Okay. All right, so there we go. And now we're just going to solve this thing. Oh, no, the dreaded combining like terms. God forbid. Well, that's okay. We can do it. We only combine like terms on one side of the equal sign. So 6 plus 6. That's going to give us 12. And then we have a negative 3x and a negative 3x. And if you add those together, that's minus 6x. So we just combine like terms on one side. Okay, now we have this multi-step equation. You already know what's up. Where's the smaller x? Right there. All right, so that's the one I'm going to have to deal with. Since it's already minus, you already know we got to add it, right? Okay. So now it's going to leave me with 12. And then 14 plus 6 is 20. So that's 20x plus 2. Great. Now let's get rid of that too. Okay. 12 minus 2 is 10. The 20x comes down. 2 minus itself is just going to zero out. And last step, of course, we have to divide both sides by 20 to get x by itself. I know it's weird because we're dividing by a bigger number. That's okay. You can get 1/2, or if you prefer decimals, you can change it to a decimal. Either way, that's what x is. All right, so now we have found x. We are not done because the problem said what is the measure, of PR, and I did PR in purple. So let me highlight that, which I did not do before. What is the measure of PR? That's what I need to do right now. So PR again, which the whole thing is 14x plus 2, excuse me. So 14x plus 2, plus 2. So that is PR. Let me scooch that over. So that is PR. So now I need to plug in 0.5, let me use a different color, for x. Because we just figured out that x is 1/2, or you can change it to a decimal and use 0.5 like I'm doing. Okay. And now, 14 times 0.5 is just 7. 7 plus 2 is 9. So PR is 9. And we are done. Now, of course, if you're paranoid like me and you want to check your work, you will plug it back into QR, and you're going to make sure that this pans out. So let's see. 6 minus 3x. I'm trying to make sure that my work is correct because I'm paranoid. So 6 minus 3 times 0.5, which is 6 minus 1.5, which is 4.5. And 4.5, if I add it to the other side, I just have to multiply it by itself. Multiply by 2, and that equals 9. So that checks out. We're good to go.